Families are crying, officials constantly lying. People are dying. Danny Alvin Green has been trying. I'm here in the middle of Missouri, watching the negligence across Missouri to Kansas to Tennessee. Unacceptable, don't you agree? You really have to be a low down, no good, rotten, dirty, stinking, straight up disgusting, greedy, self-absorbed, not worth getting pissed on. If you was on fire, dropped on your head as a child multiple times on purpose, daddy should've wore a condom or at least aborted after birth. Disease, parasite, life sucking ticks. We've had enough of your bullshit. Families are crying, officials constantly lying. People are dying. Danny Alvin Green has been trying. I'm here in the middle of Missouri, watching the negligence across Missouri to Kansas to Tennessee. Unacceptable, don't you agree? You really have to be a low down, no good, rotten, dirty, stinking, straight up disgusting, greedy, self-absorbed, not worth getting pissed on. If you was on fire, dropped on your head as a child multiple times on purpose, daddy should've wore a condom or at least aborted.
After birth, disease, parasite, life sucking ticks. We've had enough of your bullshit. I'm Danny Alvin Green saying, fuck you and good luck when you meet the Grim Reaper. NinjaNsite, the record keeper.
Yeah, you had 8 months of public notice. You saw my channel, you saw the timestamps, and you chose to look the other way. Now the tornadoes have hit, the infrastructure is gone, and families picking up the pieces. So here's a song for you, a little legal reality check. Let's see how tough you are when the numbers start adding up. You sat in your meetings, scrolled through the feed, you saw the MIT motto, planting the seed. Hurricane Aaron, 3 calls in 1 storm. You knew it was real, you knew it was warm, but you cleared the press and you turned off the light. Now the Midwest is bleeding in the middle of the night. Billions in rubble, homes torn apart, and every single one of you knew it from the start. You had public notice, you saw the receipts, 8 months of warnings falling at your feet. No heart, no soul, just a corporate hole. Now the time has come to pay the toll for every family you spit on and left in the dark. You're going down, and the truth is this far. From the CEO down to the junior analyst, the evidence is time-stamped, everyone's on the list.
Let me break it down so you understand the math. This ain't a game, this a criminal path. Missouri statute 5 section 015 is a class D felony.
7 years in prison for endangered handicap. Basically, you knew the storms were coming, you knew the model road and the model worked, but you chose to let them roll. You chose to be a jerk, and if a child got hurt, if a family lost their home, you're looking at involuntary manslaughter. Now you're in the zone. Class B felony, 5 to 15 years, reckless disregard for life. Now you're drowning in your fears. You had public notice, you saw the receipts, 8 months of warnings falling at your feet. No heart, no soul, just a corporate hole. Now the time has come to pay the toll for every family you spit on and left in the dark. You're going down, and the truth is the spark. From the CEO down to the junior analyst, the evidence is time-stamped, everyone's on the list. And we ain't even hit the federal side yet, boy. RICO conspiracy, 18 USC 1962. 20 years per count, a nigga stack 'em high. Every day you suppress the truth, you say goodbye, why raw, but then 43. Another 20 years for using the internet to traffic in your lies and fears and obstruction of justice. 18 USC 15, 19, 20 years for falsifying records, crossing the line, so add 'em up, do the math. Why
watch the numbers climb. You're looking at a century doing serious time. You thought you could silence a man from Missouri. You thought you could bury the truth and just say you're sorry. Now the blood is on your hands from the April storms, and the law doesn't care about your corporate norms. No heart, no soul. You walked on the weak, left them in the dark, didn't hear them speak. But the toll is due, and the toll is high. Every child you failed, every mother's cry. So here's the bottom line: if you worked at YouTube, Google, NASA, or nowhere, you saw my kind in between August 25 and April 2020. See, you were not innocent. You had a duty to act. You had a public safety model in your hands, and you chose to protect your job instead of the people. The law is clear, the evidence is time-stamped, and the clock is ticking. No heart, no soul, now pay the toll. This ain't a threat. This is just what happens when you gamble with people's lives. If you benefit from others' suffering, they to step in the ring, ding ding. Mic drop. August 2025, I handed them a better model. Public notice, verified predictions. 8 months later, tornadoes are ripping through Missouri. Billions in damage, families displaced, kids in harm's way. They knew they had the receipts, and they chose to suppress it. This ain't about me no more, this is about the blood on their hands. Let's ride. August 2025, Hurricane Aaron's path. 3 predictions in one storm, rapid intensification, peak decay. 48 hours, 3-4 days, 8-10 days. Ain't nobody else can play that game. I time-tested, public verifiable, YouTube, Google, NASA. No way, y'all was more than liable. You saw the accuracy, you knew the map was true, but you buried my channel instead of telling the public what to do. Now the tornadoes are tearing through Midwest land. Billions in infrastructure crumble like sand. You had a working model, you had 8 months of notice. Now people are hurt and families are broken. You put every child in the path of the storm. That's not negligence, that's a criminal form. Blood on your hands, can't wash them clean. You knew the danger, you chose what you see. April 2020, see Missouri and Kansas bleed. Tornadoes leveling homes, splintering everything. Miami County, 100 structures gone. All the walls collapse before the dawn. Billions in damage, the numbers climbing high. And I'm watching from Missouri with a lot in mind. My model could've warned them, could've given them time to get the kids to shelter, to get the families in line. Under Missouri Law 5-68045, that's endangering the welfare of a child, knowingly creating a substantial risk to their life. You knew a better model existed, you knew the storms were coming, and you said enough, and that's not a business decision, a criminal act. When a kid gets hurt, a kid got hurt, he's got torn apart. You can't unring that bell. The law says reckless disregard for human life. When you know the danger and you don't pick up the knife to cut the risk, you just let it fall. That's involuntary manslaughter. Answer the call. Every parent who lost a home, every child who felt the fear, you put them in the crosshairs for 8 months this year. I tag Missouri public safety, tag every one of you. You sat on your hands while the warnings were true. Now the tornadoes are tearing through the Midwest land. Billions in infrastructure crumble like sand. You had a working model, you had 8 months of notice. Now people are hurt and families are broken. You put every child in the path of the storm. That's not negligence, that's a criminal form. Blood on your hands, can't wash them clean. You knew the danger, you chose what you'd see. The FBI's got a file, the Missouri AG's got a case, and every timestamp I posted is a nail in your place. You thought suppressing my channel would make the problem go away, but all you did was stack the charges for a rainy day. Now the rain's here, the wind's here, the families are asking why. Why didn't you warn us? Why'd you let us die? I'm just a messenger, the math is the judge, and you for corporations, you're gonna hold the grudge. You had public notice, you had a verified public safety model, and you chose to suppress it. Now tornadoes have hit Missouri, families are displaced, children are traumatized, billions in damage. Missouri law says endangering the welfare of a child is a Class D felony. Recklessly causing physical injury or death is involuntary manslaughter. I didn't write the law, I just documented the truth. Now explain it to the families and explain it to the kids. They had 8 months of public notice, 8 out of 8 double-blind tests confirmed. and they chose to suppress it. Now the law says they either become mine or they're no more. Let's go. August 2025, Hurricane Aaron's path. I called the rapid intensification first alert, 48 hours ahead. Second call, 3 to 4 days out. Nailed the peak in the decay rate, 8 to 10 days. Ain't no other model can speak. That's 3 predictions in one storm, verified in timestamp. YouTube, Google, NASA, know y'all watched and you damn well knew. But you buried my channel, shadow banned my views. Now the same storms are ripping through Missouri, tearing homes in two. You had public notice, you had the receipts. A for 8, double blind, can't hide from the feats. Hurricane Aaron, solar dates, tornado debris. Now the law says you answer to me. Either become mine or be no more. That's a hammer knocking at your corporate door. I'm just a witness, the math is the law. YouTube, Google, NASA, no fall. December 2020 frowned, I put it on the line. Solar activity coming February, 2020 Sweets gave you the dates and the time. 80 days in advance, more than 2 months out. February 16th and 28th hit, no doubt. I tagged Missouri Public Safety, tagged every one of you. You sat on your hands while the magnetic storms blew. Now it's mid-April 2020, seems tornadoes cutting through the plain. And I'm in the comments on every video, posting proof like rain. Here's your receipt. Take it to your insurance, take it to your congressman. They knew they had a better model, they chose to hide it. That's not an act of God, that's an act of negligence. And every share, every screenshot, every timestamp, that's the rope they hang themselves with. You labeled my NASA footage, manipulated public domain. I paid for it, suspended my partnership, stole my membership fees. While you use AI for weather forecast without a single label on the screen. The law says disclose, but you think you're above the code. I'm a U.S. citizen, my model's proactive, yours is reactive, old and slow. You can't reproduce my lead times, you can't match my 97. So now the law I'm citing says you either become mine or you meet your end. You had public notice, you had the receipt. Say for 8, double blind, can't hide from the feast. Hurricane Aaron, solar dates, tornado debris. Now the law says you answer to me. Either become mine or be no more. That's the hammer knocking at your corporate door. I'm just a witness, the math is the law. YouTube, Google, NASA, no fall. Documented the truth, 8 months, 8 tests, 0 acknowledgement. Now the tornadoes are hitting Missouri and people are asking why. You can't say you didn't know. The comments that say the timestamps are public, and when the court reads the receipts, you'll either sign over the keys or they'll liquidate the locks. That's not a threat, that's just what the law says. Now go explain it to the families.